So initially, I was hoping to have this video out by May 4th, which, would make sense given the movie I'm reviewing. But inevitably, that didn't happen because I'm a lazy deer boy. So after missing out on my chance to have this video uploaded on one of the biggest days in nerd culture, I then remembered that later this month there was going to be a Han Solo spin-off movie. Of course, I didn't upload it then because, as previously stated, lazy deer boy. But in the end, I think it's better that I didn't rush this out because this movie was tedious as fuck to get through. Also, now that Solo's been out for a while, I think we can all generally agree it was pretty—
Insert your opinion on Solo, a Star Wars story here.
Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Let's talk about Star Wars. Does Star Wars really need an introduction? It's kinda hard not to know what Star Wars is, considering it's a global phenomenon that no one will shut the fuck up over, and it's a franchise that's been milked like a cow on steroids. But if you've somehow never heard of Star Wars before, dude, what are you doing with your life? Okay, I'll give you a basic rundown. Star Wars is a series where some dudes fight some other dudes who have a giant battle station that can shoot giant pew-pew lasers and destroy entire planets. Also, there's spaceships and wizards and robots and stuff. Oh yeah, and Luke making out with his own sister. That too. So knowing how memorable the original trilogy is, we're not going to be talking about any of that. Instead, I'm going to be reviewing some obscure movie you've probably never heard of before called Caravan of Courage, an Ewok Adventure. Wait, Chris Stuckman already reviewed this? And its sequel? Whatever, you're not stopping me, Chris. Caravan of Courage, an Ewok Adventure is a 1984 TV film directed by John Cordy. The movie takes place a few years after that weird Ewoks cartoon series, but before the events of Return of the Jedi. It was the first of 2 spin-off films featuring the Ewoks, the second one being Ewoks: The Battle for Endor, which came out a year after this one. Yeah, despite the Ewoks' generally negative reception in Return of the Jedi, they still somehow got 2 spin-off movies. Okay, so the Ewoks can get 2 spin-off movies? But Boba Fett doesn't have any? Right. I'm done. I can't live on this earth anymore. Bye. See ya. Oh yeah, and the story was written by George Lucas. Now, Lucas is by no means a terrible director or writer. However, ever since the prequels, people have been kind of divided on him. And knowing how Lucas wrote some of the dialogue in the prequels, I can't imagine this is going to be much better. Right, without further ado, let's get right into the shit show that is Caravan of Courage, an Ewok Adventure. We start the movie off with the one and only good thing about it, Burl Ives' narration.
Our story begins in a time long, long ago, deep in an enchanted forest on the distant moon of Endor.
We're introduced to the Tawani family who crash-landed on Endor. The Tawani parents are looking around for their 2 children, Sindel and Mace.
Sindul's jacket.
Oh, never mind, I guess it's just Sindul. God damn it, movie, you can't even let me make a Mortal Kombat reference? What is wrong with you?
Every day since the crash, you've told them not to leave the ship. I've told them too. I knew we shouldn't have left them alone, not even for a minute. Just to go find that transmitter. They're only little kids.
Is it that hard to find a babysitter in these parts of the Outer Rim? In all seriousness, though, this whole situation could have been avoided if one of you had just stayed on the ship and looked after the kids, and the other went and searched for the transmitter. Your son Mace isn't too keen on following your instructions, so why would you then leave him alone on the Star Cruiser with Sindel? It really doesn't matter if you told him to stay there. You should have known from the get-go that he wasn't going to listen. But no, of course you're just all like, yeah, let's leave our youngest daughter and our son who's a traitorous bastard on their own. What could possibly go wrong? I have no clue why this is pissing me off so much, but it is.
We'll find her. We'll find her.
Oh no, who knew something bad was going to happen in the ominous foggy forest at night? The parents are captured by some creature that looks like if Chewbacca fucked a gremlin. A fitting punishment for not taking better care of your children. Meanwhile, in an Ewok village, Is that a pony? Just chilling there? Just a pony? Why? Why is there a pony? George, come on. You made this franchise. You should be aware that Endor has its own unique fauna, right? Let me just get Wikipedia open. There, all those guys. And the one that's a deer's asshole. As I was saying, in a nearby Ewok village, an Ewok named Deej has, ironically enough, also lost his children. Bad parenting really seems to be a reoccurring thing in this movie. Oh yeah, and I guess Wicked also follows him.
Deej will use his skin glider to search for his missing sons.
And once again, zero fucks given about Endor's fauna. Just wow. So Deej hand glides over the forest and searches for the missing children. During his flight, he sees something reflecting light, which he momentarily ignores, since his children are top priority, and just so happen to be stuck on the side of a cliff. Like, seriously, Deej, are your children not top priority until they're about to fucking die? Deej throws down a rope and the two kids make it down safely. Well, one of them makes it down safely, the other just tumbles down like an idiot. So the trio of vertically challenged Wookiees go search for whatever was reflecting that light earlier, which it turns out is the Tawani's wrecked Star Cruiser. On board the Star Cruiser, they find... We must sacrifice the child to the Ewok Dark Lord! Kill him, 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 kill him!
No, Mace, no!
But of course, Sindel intervenes, because if Mace had just blasted those Ewoks, we would have been filled with immense joy.
Get your hands over now! That's it, muckface!
And then the Ewoks beat the crap out of Mace. The end. Okay, not really, but that would have ended it sooner, which I would have really appreciated. One Lucas wipe transition later, and Mace is strapped to— oh, come the fuck on!
Sindel, are you okay?
Mace, I don't feel good.
Sindel, you okay?
Oh shit, I guess Sindel really does die in Infinity War. Oh, never mind, I guess the Ewoks give Mace some medicine, which instantly heals Sindel.
I want Mommy. Where's Mommy?
She was kidnapped by Hagrid's bastardized son, so just get out of here, kid. Fucking ponies again!
Where's the medicine? Medicine? We need some more medicine. Medicine. We need more medicine. She needs more medicine. We need some more medicine. We need more medicine.
So the Ewoks run out of medicine for Sindel and need to find more. And thank God we get to hear Burl Ives' voice again. I missed it so much.
One tree in the primeval forest contains a special fluid which only Ewoks know. They have used it for generations to cure their ills.
So they get the medicine. Mace almost gets his arm chewed off by a mini space slug living in a tree. Guess that's kind of interesting. They give Sindel the medicine and skip. So in the middle of the night, the two finally leave those damn Teddy Ruxpins and go look for their parents.
Did you hear that?
Oh, thank God, something interesting. So it turns out they're being chased by something that, you know what, I really don't know what this looks like. Whatever he is, he's a fugly boy. The kids hide inside a tree, and sadly that creature doesn't rip them to pieces. Next morning, they wake up and the Ewoks are fighting the same creature from the night before, which after a heated battle, they managed to take down with the tranquilizer dart. I mean, it's a lot less stupid than the fact that they took down a bunch of ATSTs using logs. Logs?
Mace must find the master of the beast if they are ever to rejoin their parents.
Spoiler alert, the master of the beast is the Gorax, that thing that captured their parents earlier. The Ewoks tell him to see the village shaman Logray, who essentially just tells you the same thing I told you with his magical exposition dreidel.
If we don't help them, they're gonna die.
Well, that would end this movie a lot sooner, which I'd greatly appreciate, but I know that isn't gonna happen. You bunch of sadistic bastards. But before they head out, the group's given the 6 sacred totems of the legendary Ewok warriors. The Wings of Hope, the Red Wings of Courage, a magic walking stick, the Blue Wings of Strength, the Candle of Pure Light, and... oh, never mind. Guess Mace just gets a rock then. Oh yeah, and an ivory tooth and crystal. So nearly halfway into the movie, they finally depart. And then... Fallen trace on the ground. Well, that's probably going on someone's cringe compilation.
Sindel! Oh!
You had one job, Tree, one job, and you fucked it up. God damn it, Tree. Turns out the person who cut down the tree is yet another Ewok. Deej offers him the ivory tooth, but the other Ewok rejects it. But just then, Mace challenges him to an axe throwing competition to prove if he's a worthy warrior. Later, the Ewok was permanently banned from the competition for using hacks. So after the Ewok shows off his aimbot skills, Mace gives him the ivory tooth.
And so the ivory tooth is returned to its rightful owner, the brave woodsman Chukatrok.
Oh yeah, and apparently his name's Chukatrok. Let's just call him Chuk because that's a lot easier and a lot less stupid.
Why are we stopping? Why are we stopping?
No cheeks.
What's that?
No cake.
Hey, you're wasting time.
Yeah, well, so is this movie. The crystal is given to an Ewok priestess named Kank, but before she can join the League of Losers, Mace needs to pass a magic test.
What the?
Dude, what are you freaking out over? It's just Spectre theory. Oh, and the lizard's a mouse now, I guess. Okay. But of course Sindel gets Kank to join because apparently Sindel's a witch who knows the dark arts or some shit. With the caravan complete, they can finally be on their merry way to the Gorax's lair. And then this happens. So Mace gets teleported and trapped underwater. Even though that reflection clearly says otherwise. Great continuity, movie. So Sindel eventually catches on to the fact that her older brother's fucking drowning and gets the Ewoks to help him. Well, he's dead. Roll credits. Can't use the real Star Wars theme because I'll get taken down if I do. But no, of course Wicket has to save Mace with his magical plot convenience stick. Wait, how long was he down there for? Yeah, I call bullshit. He should be dead right now. After the Ewoks save Mace's ass, they prepare to leave again. Or not, apparently. Holy crap, you guys. Come on, just progress the story. So because Wicket's an incompetent little shit, Koopa Chuka has to go after the horse. So after like 2 minutes of chasing the horse, they bring it back. Okay, Sindel's good. Okay, that's all nice and dandy. But could you just get to the Gorax's lair already? But no, of course we can't just go right now. We clearly need this super important scene where Navi visits the League of Losers at night. And then like a swarm of them appears out of the— oh my god, just skip this shit, please.
Moving right along. Footloose and fancy free.
The dreaded, forbidden fortress of the giant Gorax.
Holy shit, it only took you like more than half of the movie's runtime to get there, but you're there nonetheless. Okay, you know what? I get it. In the original Star Wars, they weren't on the Death Star until like an hour in. But here's the thing. They actually made good use of that hour. Everything that happened moved the plot along in some way. This movie, on the other hand, has absolutely no fucking clue what it's doing, as there are several scenes that just lead nowhere and don't contribute to the plot in any way. Oh yeah, and it turns out that rock does have a use.
I threw it on the ground.
Apparently there was some sort of arrowhead in it the whole time, and the arrowhead points to and moves towards the entrance of the fortress. Mace then proceeds to blow the shit out of a rock blocking the way. Also, his blaster sounds suspiciously like a TIE fighter.
What the fuck?
So they enter the cavern, but leave Sindel behind. I guess even they couldn't stand her anymore. They climb across a giant cobweb, and I want you to take a guess what happens next. Go on, I'll wait. Did you get it? Giant spiders attack! Okay, movie, you don't need to keep reminding me that spiders are gross as fuck with these close-up shots. I'm already well aware of that. Now just blast the damn thing. Or just slightly paralyze it. I guess that also works. Okay, for the love of God, could somebody just kill that damn thing? Thank you. The group reaches a large staircase, and god damn it, movie! But thankfully Wicket kills the spider. Also, what is it with fantasy movies and giant fucking spiders? So Mace and the other half of the League of Losers make it up the stairs, and there he is! And there are the irresponsible parents. And that Ewok's dead. Pretty sure his name was Weechi or something, but who fucking cared? Meanwhile, Mace is trying to figure out how to get his parents down. Juke suggests using the Gorax's axe like a seesaw to boost him up there. The plan works out, of course, because the movie's almost over and it needs to resolve its conflict somehow. Mace throws a rope down and the parents escape the cage, all the while Waluigi's still being pursued by the Gorax. Just then, he finds a basket and Metal Gear Solid's his way out of his little predicament. Wait, you can hear me. Wait! But of course he's not in there. It's just another random basket laying around. Oichi Board continues to screw around with him while the rest of the Tawani family escapes. That is until your boy Goraxium Verge comes back in. The rope breaks, which sends Chopsaki Chooks falling down, and the group starts booking it. But then the walrus Guguga Chook stubs the Gorax's toe a few times, and Navi does what she does best and annoys the shit out of him. And then a falling rock kills Chook. No, seriously, Chook straight up dies. Before he dies, however, he gives Mace his axe.
No, please don't die. No.
You died as you lived, Chook. Completely expendable. So the Gorax is then tripped, given a concussion with a stalagmite, shot with a blaster that sounds like an Imperial Walker cannon, and that's enough to send him falling to his death. Or not, apparently, because he just gets right back up like nothing ever happened. Okay. Jason Vorax is ultimately killed by a Deus Ex Machina to the neck. We're almost done, praise our Lord and Savior. The family and Ewoks Tarzan their way over to safety, Mace releases Navi, the Ewoks perform a bootleg version of the ending to Return the Jedi, and they all live happily ever after and all that jazz. Well, thank fuck it's over, because if you couldn't already tell, I don't like this movie. The movie as a whole was just generally unenjoyable. The characters were bland and forgettable. Like, come on, even this guy was more memorable than the jabronis in this movie. The movie's plot's not very interesting. There weren't nearly as many unique locations as the original trilogy, as the plot of this movie is just restricted to Endor. And one of my biggest problems, besides this movie existing of course, a lot of the scenes in this movie just feel like they're extended filler. You know what I liked about the original Star Wars movies? Other than, its great action scenes, its cutting-edge special effects for the time, variety of locations, all things this movie lacks. Every event in those movies progressed the plot along in some way. Meanwhile, several scenes in this movie were either Ewok nonsense or conflicts that totally should be intriguing but just aren't. The movie also doesn't do a very good job at making you care about its main characters. They don't tell you where they're from, they don't tell you how the family crash landed on Endor, they don't tell you what their stance is on the Galactic Civil War. Like, I know this movie isn't canon, but at the very least you could have had one of the characters address the war that's currently happening at the time of this movie. The most we get from this movie is just, these kids' parents were kidnapped by a monster. Pity them now. Do it. Pity them. Caravan of Courage is essentially a Star Wars spin-off movie minus the stars, the wars, and anything that made the original trilogy memorable in the first place. And what we're left with is a bland and uninteresting fantasy movie. I can't really recommend this to anyone either. Most Star Wars fans will probably hate it, casual moviegoers won't like it. The only people who might enjoy this are small children, but even then you could just show them the Clone Wars, which is way better than this. Hell, even Rebels is miles better than this. Like, I've been hearing a lot of people say it's not nearly as good as its predecessor, but compared to Caravan of Courage, it's practically Empire Strikes Back. Anyway, my final rating for this movie is a 3, and I hope those Ewoks get enslaved and/or executed by the remnants of the Empire. Also, did I ever mention I hate this movie? 'Cause I do. Don't watch it. It's shit.